I move for no man, no man, no man, no man, no
We're calling a draw.
no man.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh
What
wound.
up, Chris?
What up, Frank?
Are you in LA?
I am. Well, Newport Beach, yeah.
That's your spot,
For all my
Newport.
stalkers out there.
where the ladies love you, Chris.
Apparently, so do the dudes.
What? There's a lot of
Out here, yeah.
H word.
Yes. A lot of the H words. Which is, you're allowed to say that word.
Am I?
I mean, I don't know if you
Say
are.
it, you say it first.
Homosexuals? Yes, homosexuals is okay. You can't say the F word, the new F word. The
You can't
fucking
abbreviate it.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I fucked up already. See that? You're right. Yeah, dude, I watched a gnarly movie last night.
Which one?
Climax by Gaspar Noé. He's the guy who made he's made a bunch. Enter the Void.
Wait, hold up. Is this the one where they take pills or they roofie themselves? Did you already see this movie?
I
You
did.
already
Yeah.
saw it.
I did. I told you about that.
Yeah. So you watched it again.
I did. And it's because
You
that was
are
last night.
twisted. It's
I'm
a very
talking about-
twisted movie. You are
Very
a very twisted individual.
I had kind of that mindset last night. I was talking to some of my other friends, and I'm like, guys, what are some of the most twisted movies that you can think of? Whatever. So we came up with Leaving Las Vegas with Nicolas Cage. Really dark movie.
That's a dark movie.
Requiem for a Dream.
That's a very dark movie.
That ruins my day. That ruins my day every.
I can't see that movie. It
Yeah.
bums me out.
Shit. What else do we have? I had a list.
Because there's people that actually live like that.
Oh yeah, no, it's too real. That's way too real. What were the other ones? I had two other really nasty ones on there. Oh, Antichrist with what's the actor's name? But that's one. You should check that one out. That movie's fucking nuts.
The Antichrist. Is it like a scary movie? Or is it more like a suspense?
Scary thriller.
I can't deal with scary movies these days.
Donnie Darko. That was another one that came up. And Irreversible is that's another Gaspar Noé movie. That's too much.
That guy is so fucked up.
Yeah. He's Argentinian. That guy. Argentinian living in Spain. Makes a lot of French movies, French-Belgian movies.
A lot of weird sexual movies. Is he's the one that made the the semi-porn?
Yeah, Love.
No. Okay. Which one is the one with Shia LaBeouf? No, that's another dude that I'm talking about. Have you seen it? Where they show dude, that one's pretty intense.
Well, the movie Love that Gaspar Noé made, there's a guy who gets jerked off to completion in the opening scene. It was in movies in 3D. So literally this guy's nut is flying at you.
They should make a Disney ride for when the guy busts a nut, then they spray that water on you.
That's so bad.
That'd be so fucked up.
Oh shit.
Well, what have you been doing?
So work was Friday, Saturday, but otherwise not a whole lot. Just working out, cooking, eating some food.
When are you going to be back?
Sunday.
Oh, so it's just for the event?
Yeah, well, basically, we kind of put two events together. So they were back-to-back Saturdays. So I came in a little bit before, gonna leave right after.
So you got in? I thought you got in Sunday.
No, I got in Thursday. First fight.
Okay.
First fight was
You've
Saturday.
been there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we spoke last Monday. I think it was Monday. Yeah.
No, the last one was.
Or
that
Tuesday.
was Monday with the Chin.
Yeah, I think so.
That was a fun one. That was one of the most fun podcasts.
I've probably listened to that podcast 5 times.
Dude, I've had so many people reach out to me, quoting things that we said. I don't even remember us saying. Hilarious.
From the beef to ass is that. You had me at beef to ass.
That's a T-shirt. I can't wait till we get to the point where we can have merch.
Beef to ass. That
we
is
could have a whole section
epic,
for Chin merch.
Most epic quote ever.
Beat the ass.
Did you see Tom's last post? Tom DeBlas?
I have not, no.
Man, I want to tell Garry to start going on that diet. He should probably get on that diet. He's a thick 238. Hefty. Veiny. Stocky.
Yeah, wow. This
It's like
one?
the American version of Palhares.
Jesus. He's got a nice torn bicep there.
Yeah.
That thing is rolled up. Dude, he's a fucking dude, that's the thing about
thick,
the grapplers, all the jiu-jitsu guys, man. They're fucking thick hands, forearms. Garry's like that too. Like he's just
dude, it's amazing how Gordon,
dude,
he's not that big. Like compared to these guys. No, dude, he's not.
I've never been. I don't think I've ever been.
Have you seen him standing next to Nick Rod?
I did, yeah. Nick Rod's huge though. He's huge.
Yeah. Dude,
he's
and
got
next
like a really wide like shoulders and his arm like he's a very big guy.
Dude, the thing is that Gordon isn't he's not like a thick context type of dude. His body type is there he is.
He's just he's a big dude though.
Garry, we're talking about Tom DeBlas and his last post, his last picture. I was telling Chris that you should probably get on that diet.
That I should get on that diet.
Yes. He is looking swole as a motherfucker.
Quite strong.
It's a large man.
I was telling Chris that Gordon isn't as big as these heavyweights. Like his body frame isn't like thick like these dudes. Like Buchecha.
I mean, he's like jacked, so like everybody just assumes he's just as big as them, but like he's not even close.
Yeah, his frame is not
like Gordon
he used to be he has like a wiry frame, but he just added muscle to it.
Yeah. He's like a little over, I would say like he's like in the young 200s, like he's like, you know, at the most like 220, you know, when he's heaviest. And I think most of the time he floats around like 210ish. So, I mean, those guys are like Buchecha is routinely like 260.
Yeah, these guys are monsters, and Cyborg is pretty thick as well.
Yeah,
and the Hulk dude is pretty thick as well.
Dude, for ADCC, he showed up ripped out of his mind. I've never he looked enormous. Right now, he's like a little bit smaller, but he's still pretty big.
What kind of pharmaceuticals you guys get into?
And man, I've been the same size my whole career. Ain't nobody say that.
Not you, Garry.
Not you, Garry. I know you're.
You look like a scrawny little peep squeak.
Wow, thanks.
Garry, I was just talking about how strong you look, just before you got on. This guy fucking comes in with talking shit.
With his negative attitude, just like Chin told me. I'm the bad news bear.
The Chin
coming with this negative cloud to fuck shit up.
What a guy.
Garry,
what a guy.
Have you heard the podcast, the Vinny the Chin one?
Did I like re-listen to it?
Yeah.
The
thing is that at the moment you don't really like.
Much like anybody that like produces music, no, I rarely listen to the songs that I make. No.
Well, I mean, when it's one of your best hits, you do. I mean, you gotta.
You put it on repeat.
You gotta.
Frank said he listened to it 5 times.
Dude, I listened to. I mean, it's just so funny, dude. It's like a.
Does he do it? Does he do his own thing? Does he have a podcast?
No, dude.
I don't know if he can. Like it would just be it would be so offensive.
I think he would do really well if he had like one like really normal like nerdy dude that ran the podcast, and like Vin just responded to all of his very serious questions in his personality. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, starts talking about very topical things like, you know, normal shit, and then, you know, Vinny just explodes on a coke rampage, and, you know.
I feel like you shouldn't expose these awesome ideas to the ether, so they just never materialize, and we selfishly keep Chin forever, all to ourselves.
I'm in. He should absolutely be. I wanna. We gotta find like a more. I love having him on, but I feel like there's better use for him somehow. Like, I feel like we could probably do something, like maybe set him up like to be on the podcast with like a hyper feminist or something, like, you know, like I just feel like we could do something really explosive with him.
You guys know anyone like that?
I know a few. we can make that happen.
Make that person walk right into a landmine.
Because I think that's where you're gonna best see his talents, is when you see a contrast between the way that because like, let's be honest, like, he's among friends here when he speaks the way that he speaks, and like, we laugh and like, we still think it's hilarious, but it's like we're like a few steps below. But like, I want to see him versus something that's just opposite end of the spectrum.
100%. I agree
we gotta
with
put
it.
like a kindergarten teacher or something, like just like
someone that's like super proper.
Exactly.
Yeah. We think we're bad, and then we bring him on, and we're like, we could push the envelope way more.
Exactly. I would just love to just like have like a Harvard professor on.
Oh
and
my
like,
God.
be like, yeah, we're gonna be here for a serious interview, and Vin comes on as like a guest, like, interviewee or whatever.
Yeah. A professor of ethics from Harvard or NYU or something would be brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't hang out with anybody like that.
Or we should get politicians on, because that would be like almost do like a Ali G type thing.
Yes, dude. Have you seen some of the episodes? Where he brings like legit, I thought it had to be bullshit because it's the crazy shit that goes on in that show. When you watch and you're like, these are real politicians from real states and like serious, like heavy hitters, like fucking senators and shit. And he just embarrasses them on the show.
Did you guys see his last HBO show? Or I think it was like HBO or Showtime. So he basically did a bunch of characters and he would do exactly what Garry says. Kind of like what Ali G was doing, but he would totally play like the opposite of whatever the person that was coming on was doing.
Yeah.
And it was super awkward, and they like
he does.
Some of them like walked out
brilliant.
and shit.
Everything he does is absolutely hilarious. That guy fucking
hilarious.
cracks me up.
He's brilliant.
Yeah,
he's brilliant.
Absolutely.
Did you guys see like the brothers Grimm or Grisby or some shit like that?
I think it's the brothers Grisby. I actually didn't.
Dude, there's this one scene. Do you know the scene that I'm talking about, Chris?
Mm-mm.
Where there's like bad dudes chasing them in the jungle, and they decide to hide inside an elephant's vagina.
Oh, dude! Yeah, I sent
and then the elephants start banging.
Friends or something. Yeah.
Oh, actually, I've seen the clip. I
clip.
I remember the fucking elephant's dick coming at their face.
Yes, and then the elephant busts a nut. That is like so wrong. One of the most epic clips in cinematic.
I think that's like bringing things back to like the Freddy Got Fingered days. Yes. Like fucking Tom Green, like kind of comedy. Like that shit was just so fucking like nasty, off the wall fucking shit, you know? But he's a little bit more intelligent with his stuff, I think, than Tom Green was. But
100%. Yeah, this guy.
But that particular scene, I feel like, brings things back to like those days.
Have you ever seen him talking, like actually speaking, like in interviews? He's pretty smart.
As his actual
really smart.
Self? No, I haven't.
Yeah, Sacha Baron Cohen. He's really smart.
I think
he's married to somebody hot, right?
Huh?
He's married to somebody hot, I think.
Yeah, he's married to she's like some redhead.
Well, listen, I'm convinced that the reason that he's as good of a comedian as he is, and everything, and has such a personality and such a level of intelligence, because he was named Sasha. Like nobody gets away with not, like, if you're named Sasha and you don't have those things, like, your life is just going to be miserable. So like he had to overcome his own name.
You got to be a killer.
One of the greatest comedians and like most intelligent people, for sure.
So yeah, Frank, he's married to Isla Fisher, the short redhead from Wedding Crashers.
Yes.
Oh, dude, she's so hot.
Yeah.
Super hot.
So hot.
I don't even like redheads, and she's hot.
You know, I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever banged a redhead. I don't think so.
Well,
I have.
Put it on your to-do list.
It has to be on hold for now because
I mean, it's not an immediate to-do list. You know,
in case she dies, then
Which I mean, people are dying these days.
What was I going to say? I will say this. What do you think? Let me say this. What do you think the most obscure? I'll ask Chris this because we know Frankie doesn't get laid. But what do you think the most obscure, like, type of person you've been. It can be like an occupation category. It can be a race. It can be anything. What do you think the most obscure person you've banged ever was? You know, like what's like something you'd be really, people would be really surprised to hear that you've banged.
A black woman who's over 6 feet.
Wow, that's impressive. Yeah, that's really impressive. Mine,
neither is that crazy, but like put them together and it's like, well, I wouldn't expect that.
Yeah.
From you.
Well, all right. Well, we may as well do the story that goes along with it then. There's got to be something that you can give us.
Go for it. Uh-oh. Oh, you just put him in the hot seat.
There we go.
Time out for just a second. Did you know she was over 60 beforehand or no?
Or was she sitting down when you started macking it?
So it was one of those at first sight kind of things. Saw her and I was like, yep, but I didn't realize how tall she was then. So I am at.
Wait, did you say over 6 feet or over 60? Because
no, 6 feet.
Dude,
no,
I
feet.
heard you say over 60 and I was like, oh my God. Dude, I thought
really good.
Dude, I was like, man, Chris has my highest level of respect. Like, dude, you were already at like a 9 in respect and you just shot to fucking 13 out of 10.
60. Closest I've been is 50s, early 50s.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Me too.
Yeah, but early 50s isn't 60.
No,
Bro,
no.
once you cross the 60-ish line.
Dude,
okay.
Over 6 feet.
You do the 60. That's a whole different thing.
And I really wish I didn't clarify that, and I hope somebody else. I wish I wouldn't have done that, and then somebody else would have thought that on the podcast. They were like, "Wow, man, 60, huh?"
Bro, Chris.
Now I have a mission. Now I gotta go and find a 60.
Chris went up to this black chick and went, "Hey, baby, can I buy you a drink?" And she stands up and hovers over him and says, "Yeah, white boy, let's get a drink. Let's get that drink."
Yeah, little guy. Taps you on the head.
So, what's the story, Chris?
She's not over 60, so it's not as cool.
It's all right. It's still gonna be good. Over 6 feet is still impressive.
That's fucking tall as shit, man.
Because I am not 6 feet.
And ladies usually go out in like high heels, so she was probably a good 6'2", 6'3".
Correct.
That's a huge bitch.
I'm walking into a shoe store and I see her and she's bent over dealing with shoes and I'm like, yep. So I'm walking in.
Damn. So you just beelined?
Dude, right to it.
In the middle of the day?
Middle of the day. Right.
Zero alcohol?
Yeah. No alcohol, not a bar, not a restaurant. It was middle of the day.
Yo,
and I'm with my brother. I'm like, yo, watch this. And he
You're
goes,
a go-getter, Chris.
Yeah, absolutely.
Respect.
Right to her, started asking her about a bunch of shoes. She asked about so many different shoes. And she's like, oh, no, actually, there's better shoes in a different store because this is an outlet, whatever. I'm like, cool. Well, why don't you let me take your number, and then we can kind of exchange information and figure out when those new shoes come. I wasn't buying nothing that day, but I was acting like I was going to buy everything.
Oh, wait, she's selling the shoes.
She's selling the shoes. I'm like, let me see that in a size 10. Let me see that in a size 10. Let me see that in a size 10. She gets all the shoes, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. They're all fitting me. I'm like, here, take my number down. Give me your number. We'll exchange our numbers. And then when the new stuff comes to the new store, let me know, and then I'll come check it out. So
I was kind of thinking that Chris went to
say.
Mac on her in like a random store and not that she actually worked there. I don't know, Chris. I take my respect back.
Okay.
Really?
Take
Dude,
it
I
back.
think that's smooth as fuck. Hitting on, dude, I think getting the employee rather than getting a random chick in the store is harder.
Well, if you're asking for shoes, that's what they're there for.
Yeah,
but I got her number.
Agreed, but he's trying to get the connection. Like, okay, which is harder, meeting a chick at the bar or getting the waitress's phone number? Meeting the chick at the bar, no?
Yeah.
You
No,
don't
I
think
was
so?
like,
I think it's harder to get the waitress's phone number than it is to
Definitely.
meet the chick.
yeah, because
You know how
everybody's
many
hitting
people
on
are
her.
asking for the waitress's phone number on a day-to-day basis? It's fucking everybody that comes in.
Okay.
I also didn't buy any shoes.
I understand your point.
I didn't buy any shoes.
And they're technically going against protocol by doing that because they're probably not supposed to fuck anybody that like comes into the
They'll
store.
get fired, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you know if they're willing to risk their fucking job over you, you know you're doing a good fucking job.
Okay, Chris, you can have it back. So hey guys, you remember?
Chris is framed on my computer right now with
Yeah,
this
he
face.
did. You did to mine too. So
You had like a blue steel look on it.
it's
Right
like
on
that. That's what Chris is gonna do now while we talk about him. He's just gonna stay in blue steel.
So Frankie, what would you say your most obscure is? And again, it doesn't have to be like his combination. It could have been like
No,
some
when you
job
said
a chick
60,
had.
I was thinking of someone that was almost there. It was probably like 58ish.
So you're thinking your
good.
craziest
So
one was
55.
how old the girl was.
Well, not crazy, but like, I guess like the most
obscure. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Like it's
because I've had, I mean, I've dated some crazy bitches
Because
before.
55 and up that's a thing.
when I say crazy, I mean it's like when you hear the description of them, you're like, wow, I wouldn't have expected that.
No. When I sobered up, I immediately when I saw her on my camera, I immediately went to the bathroom and puked.
Yeah.
Immediately.
I like that kind of deeper
I looked
threat.
in the mirror and I gave myself a scolding.
You're a monster.
What have you done? And I seriously thought that I was that I had the worst case of beer goggles in the history of mankind.
Frankie
couldn't believe
quit
it.
drinking
I
for
couldn't
like
believe
a
it.
day.
Yeah, I quit drinking for like 3 days. Nah, it wasn't college. It was stupid. I was drinking like I was probably drinking some like it was something white with a lot of alcohol in it. Something like grain alcohol or some shit like that.
Interesting.
Well, you went to school you went to college in Boca. So there's a lot of
There's
hot older
a
ladies
lot.
down
Yes, but
This was not one of them.
Not one of them.
that was not one of them. So I've had my fair share of cougars, but this one was like, what do you call it when they're like older? Gilfs? Gilfs?
If they're a grandmother.
Yeah.
This one was definitely a grandma.
Is there one over a cougar? Like it's cougar, and then I think there is one like a leopard or a panther or a lynx or something.
Well, according to Vinny, he had a koala-faced bitch. So I guess there's koala.
Koala. Nice.
So hey guys, I have to address this. One of our fans, or one of our good fans, Marcus, sent us a DM about episode 33, where we talk about James Cameron and his movies. And I guess I was saying that he had hits after hits, and I only mentioned Titanic and Avatar. And I forgot to mention fucking Terminator 1, 2, and 3, Alien, and The Abyss.
Oh, The Abyss was good.
The Abyss.
I don't think I ever watched The Abyss.
Wait, Alien 2?
Aliens 1, no, Terminator 1, 2, and 3, and the Alien series.
Dude, Alien series is amazing.
Ooh,
So
that
we
was good.
totally
The
scrolled
first one
through
is
these
terrifying.
masterpieces like
I don't remember
idiots.
who fucking produces what. I have no idea. The only person I know is Tom Six. That's it. It's the only movie producer I'm aware of.
I tried to watch that last night, Garry.
Did you? Which one? Which one did you try to watch?
I tried the first one. I couldn't get it for free, so.
First one's not too bad.
Yeah, Chris could only
Second
watch
one's
the
a rough
first 10
watch.
movies.
Second one's a really rough watch. I wouldn't be able to get through the second one today.
I don't
Yeah.
think I
Watch the
got
first 10
through it.
Third one is so stupid funny that I can kind of get through it because I watched that third one multiple times.
So
All
for
right.
For all of our fans listening, this is Garry talking about Human Centipede again. So
It's a fetish.
the Human Centipede always
A big
finds a
ass
way into
amount
the
of work.
podcast.
Just so you guys know, if I was in the Human Centipede and there was just a 3-piece one, I would prefer to be the middle piece.
Most stitches.
Nothing better than getting your ass eaten while you're eating ass. So a lot of people in the chain, they say they want the first piece, like they say they want A, but getting your ass eaten is nice, but it'd be nice to give and receive at the same time, I think.
Wow.
Well, do you really? Is that really your preference, or would you rather just take turns and enjoy?
No, I think it would be great. I think if I had 2 chicks, I mean, of course, if there's dudes in the chain of the Human Centipede, that's fucked.
No,
But,
I'm saying on one-on-one. Mano a mano.
Would I rather, in an actual sexual scenario, instead of having somebody stapled or sewn to my asshole? Yes, in an actual sexual scenario, I would rather have one chick eating my ass out while I ate the other chick's ass out. Yes, that's what I would rather have.
I guess you can't really do mano a mano unless you do like a human pretzel, where you go onto her bunghole and she goes onto yours.
So you're saying one-on-one, so like a 69, but
kind of like a modified angle 69.
I would call that a yin yang.
Modified angle 69.
That would be a yin yang, because you got that.
The letter, kind of like like a letter O,
it's
like
a
a
yin yang.
Yes.
Yeah.
I call it a chocolate circle, or chocolate donut.
Chocolate donut. That's what I call it anyway.
So Garry, by you calling it a chocolate donut, does that mean that the donut always comes with chocolate? or does that mean that if the donut doesn't have chocolate, then you wouldn't want to eat that donut?
I don't know, man. But either way, by the end of it, it's gonna get glazed. That's all I know.
Do
it. I know you guys don't give a shit because you didn't ask. You fucking selfish cunts. But my most obscure bang, in my opinion, although there are probably many categories which would be obscure, was a Native American woman.
I was hoping somebody had
but like when I say Native American woman, I don't mean like, oh, she was like 10% fucking. No. She was living on a fucking reservation.
Oh.
Did you go into her teepee?
No. So I was in Canada with my buddy Glenn.
I hope you role played.
Yeah. I was in Canada with my buddy Glenn, and we go to, after I teach a seminar at his place, I go to this cigar lounge, and I had to watch some fights that he was putting on or something, or one of his guys was fighting in, and it was in a I think it's like illegal in Canada now or something, so it had to be done on a Indian reservation. So we're on this Indian reservation, and then after that, we go to a cigar lounge to watch the fights. Like, we watch UFC fights. And like the crazy part is George St. Pierre had actually asked me to go do something. He's like, oh, we could go to the clubs or something. And I kind of felt bad. I was like, like, I'm with my buddy. Like, Glenn was a good friend of mine, and like, we're already hanging out or whatever. Like, he invited me to go do this thing. So I'm just going to have like a low key night and just hang out. I'm thinking we're going to a cigar lounge. There ain't going to be any fucking chicks there. That's my thought process, Like,
chicks and
first
cigars
of all,
aren't really like a thing.
I never thought, like, when I heard the word cigar lounge, I'm like, all right, it's just going to be a bunch of old fucking fat Russian dudes. And there was a lot of old fat Russian dudes, don't get me wrong. Like, there was one dude that was like, his gut stuck out so far that he would lay down on the I'll do it with the camera here for people that are actually watching the video. He would lay down on the seat that he was on, and like this sweatshirt's going to be his belly, and he would have it so that like his phone would prop up on his belly so he could like
Homer Simpson style.
Yeah,
Homer used to have his beer. Like,
it was impressive. Like,
while smoking a cigar.
Exactly. While smoking a cigar, he used his gut as like a shelf. So, but anyway, we go to this place, and I'm thinking like, all right, low key night with the boys, right? And then people start kind of flowing in, and it's like there's a couple chicks there or whatever, but most of them are like just, girlfriends or whatever, or wives of like people coming in. And then I see like one chick who is clearly unattached, but great fucking legs and ass, dude, like just great. But it's clear that she's like Native American. Like, we're still on the reservation technically, like this cigar lounge or whatever is on the reservation. So I'm like a little like kind of like not sure how I go about trying to hit on this chick, because I don't really know what that dynamic is like. I'm like thinking to myself,
I would think smoke signals, right? Like, you would just like, I'm here in cigar lounge.
No, I went for the drums. I started playing the drums on her ass, No.
The war drum.
No.
Dude, I was thinking that Garry might have been playing the drums like on the bar counter to attract her.
Slightly more mild. No, so I wasn't really sure exactly how I was going to approach it, but whatever. We get to drinking, and I fucking just approach her and just give it a shot, right? And it ends up kind of like.
Remember your opener?
I don't remember the opener at all. I think she was friends with somebody that did jiu-jitsu, so we were the friend like said something about me. It made it really easy. I cheated. I didn't fucking have to do shit.
Okay.
Like, it was really easy because somebody else set it up for me, and I just closed the deal.
1 to 10, Garry.
1 to 10 in
How
terms of
was she?
hotness.
Yeah.
I would say a 7,
Okay.
maybe. I'm really stingy though, like with my hotness scale. Like for you to be, when I say someone's an 8 to me is like an 8 to 8.5 is about as hot as you could get without being like a celebrity of some sort. Like you could be like a 10 on somebody else's scale, and because you're not like, you don't have some like unique quality about you, you're not like a porn star or like a celebrity or something, like you're probably not going to be. First of all, I don't think 10 is real. I don't think 10 is a real number. Like that's not in this universe. The highest number you're ever more than likely going to get from me is like a 9.5, and that would be, you'd have to be some sort of really hot famous porn star or
like a celebrity
or something.
So a 10 would be like an Avatar, like that one Avatar chick.
Dude, exactly. No, it would be like the 65-year-old black gilf that I thought you banged. No, yeah, I'm super. My scale, it works off of the median, like the mean, which is like a 5 is basically unremarkable in any way. So like a 5, you look at and you're just like, okay, that's a person, but you wouldn't say anything mean about them, and you wouldn't say anything nice about them. And then like below the 5 is always, you would always say something negative about the person. Like, you'd be like, oh man, like what the fuck is up with her face, or like what's going on?
Interesting scaling. I appreciate this.
And then as you would go towards 6, you're gonna say something nice about the person. Probably they might have some negative quality, but they also have something nice, like, you know, their face is nice, their tits are nice, their ass is nice, something you're gonna say, and then it moves up in either direction from there. But like a 0 and a 10 are just not real. Like those both don't exist, you know?
Yeah.
Like a 0 is like an actual like mutant gargoyle. You know, like it's not attainable in my eyes. But anyway, my scale is always a little askew, so it's confusing for people. So if she's a 7 on my scale, she's probably like an 8 on most people's scale.
But she's hot. 7's hot.
Yeah, very hot, very hot. So it ended up working out. We fucking banged or whatever. But I will say this about the experience. First of all, never thought I would ever in my life bang like a pure Native American chick. I just didn't think it was going to happen. Like, what would the circumstances be where that would fucking happen in your life? Like, I never thought I would ever be on an Indian reservation, first of all. Like, I just didn't think that was going to happen. Second of all, meet a chick, banger. How would I know? Now, I will say this. I got played, bro. Like, I'm like, tend to be like a nice person. Like, I'm going to like text you the next day and like say like, I had a nice time. Like, even if I probably have no intention of like seeing you again or anything. Like, that's just me. Like, I'm polite. Like, so I'm like, hey, you know, thanks for the great time, whatever, you know, this, that, and the other thing. So she never responds. So I'm like, oh, maybe she didn't see the message. So like a week later, I text her. I was like, hey, how you doing or something? Nothing. So like, dude, like months go by and I'm like, yep, she just wanted to fucking one and done me. I was like, okay. She doesn't want to be associated with fucking white boy.
She went up half a point there. She's a 7.5 now.
Yes. I was impressed.
She went up.
Because it doesn't usually happen
now.
that way. Like, you know how it is. They're usually very attached and they want to fucking text you every day afterwards and all this kind of thing. And she was done.
You say usual, but you've never had an American Indian before. So
that's
you don't
true. That's true.
Native American, yeah.
Maybe that's just how they are. They don't give a fuck.
She just became sexier.
They're one with the colors, of the wind, you know?
Dude, the woman I'm picturing in my mind is so hot. Like I'm picturing like
Pocahontas.
Basically.
So
like this eagle behind her, like everything.
Picture
like
Pocahontas, but with a way thicker ass. Like a way better ass.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
Love it.
So we have another fan, Tyler, that has some questions for us. We should probably tackle these. So let's start with, so I'll just ask and we can start with Garry, then Chris, and then I'll answer. So He asks, what would you rather? Beers, spirits, wine, or marijuana?
If you could only choose one, or is it just, you know, what's your preference?
Yeah, preference.
Preference? Okay. I'll let you guys go first because I just talked a lot.
Okay, Chris, we'll start with you.
I love beer, but yeah, beer. I'm going to go beer. I love beer.
Garry? Well, Gary's always drinking beer, so but I don't know.
Yeah, I'd probably if you told me I could only go with one for the rest of my life, I would choose marijuana. But if you told me, if you asked me what my preference is, I would say beer. Because the reason I say that is I feel as though like marijuana in general has much less negative effects like on your body and things. So I feel like if I could only use one for the rest of my life, like I'd rather have that one on hand, because then I'd feel less bad about like using it at any given point in time. And if I could only use alcohol, then it's like, well, now I always have to get drunk if I want to have an altered mind state, and then I'm always, hangovers, etc., all that kind of thing, which you don't get with the weed,
If I could only have one, it would be liquor. The reason for that being is I could at least drink myself to death at some point in my life. You can't smoke yourself to death, so.
That's true. You
Yeah, I'm going to have to go.
They're getting close. I feel like the drugs of today are getting stronger and stronger. It's getting rough. Some of these fucking edibles, I mean, I definitely could fucking end up jumping out of my window one day.
I would do wine. I would probably do wine, but I've been getting like some fucking weird hangovers lately.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like, huh?
From wine in particular, or just in general?
Yeah, dude, from wine. I don't know if it's like, maybe I'm just dehydrated because I'm not drinking enough water. I don't know.
I had always felt like some of my worst hangovers came from wine.
Yeah, for me, it's hard to get there, but yeah, they're always really bad, and they last a couple days.
Yeah, like if
Dude,
I'm just... Go ahead, sorry.
When you said that, what do you mean? Can you elaborate?
Who?
You said they last a couple days.
Yeah, wine hangovers, like, they're like extended. They're like, so remember the hangovers you used to get when you were like, so like when you're 20, you didn't really get them. But like when you're 25, you started to get hangovers. And they were kind of mild. And then 30, they got a lot worse. Now, like certain hangovers the last couple of days, you'll get like different age. Like the first day is like, oh, fuck, I'm like destroyed. And then the next day is like a hangover when I was 25. And then like the third day, like so like, it goes down. Like, but you're still fucked that whole day. It's just different percentage of fucked.
Is it similar to like, do you ever take like Advil PM or something?
So,
have you ever taken?
Yeah.
No?
So,
or like a Benadryl or something. Is there anything that makes you like drowsy?
Oh yeah, no, you're not. I'm not drowsy when I got those double A hangovers. I'm just like.
So what I'm saying is like that second day where it's like kind of light, but it's not like a full hangover. Does it kind of feel like that? Because for me, like if I take like an Advil PM the next day, I feel okay. I can do everything that I'm doing, but there's like something there that's like kind of fucking with me. That's like looking over my head.
Mine's like.
Does your head hurt, Garry?
I feel it in my bones. Like I feel it like
interesting
deep inside my body that second day.
That's not what I'm talking about.
I'm talking your head, right?
Yeah, I'm talking
like
about
a
like
headache.
A
headache. That's the worst thing. The head. The headache.
The white noise in the back of your mind that's just like,
Yeah, and it's like usually like, does it hit you like usually in one of the temples? No.
You might have either. That's a little different.
I'm dying, guys.
The worst ones are definitely in the temples. I get headaches from my fucking headgear that I wear, man. That shit just wraps around so fucking tight.
Oh, dude. When I don't spar for a while and I come back, like all around my head is like, because the headgear is so tight, it just like pushes into your, like you feel sore in your scalp.
Do you wear like a boxing style headgear? Because I wear like a Taekwondo one, like the rubber one, because I feel like the boxing style one's so bulky.
Yeah, no, I wear a boxing one, like a leather. Thick leather one.
So he also asked, what's the first job you guys ever had?
Oh, this is fun for me. But go ahead.
First paid job.
Yeah.
Martial arts instructor.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty basic.
So technically, I mowed lawns and shit like when I was a kid, but I don't really count that as a job. When I was actually employed and paying taxes and all that nonsense.
Oh, okay.
I worked at I worked at a candy store on the boardwalk in Seaside, and I forget what the hell was the fucking name of the store. I can't remember the name of the store, but I worked at this candy store. My buddy that was in high school with me or whatever got me the job, and I don't think I really ever ended up making any real money because I would just take my lunch break on the boardwalk and eat, and the fucking food on the boardwalk is so fucking expensive that it would eat into like at least 2 hours of work. Like, because I mean, you're getting paid like $7.50 an hour, right? So 2 hours, like, so it's like $14 minus like whatever fucking tax and everything like that. So it's really like $10. Then I have like some like, sub sandwich or whatever. Like I love like a sausage sandwich with like peppers, onions, cheese, tomato sauce. Dude, that's fucking my jam at the boardwalk. So I would get that, you know, your drink or whatever. And then before you know it, it's like, okay, like unless I'm working like an 8 or 10 hour shift, like I just ate into like almost half the like what I fucking made for the day. Plus I had to drive there. It was like 20 minutes. It's like all this shit. But they had smoking hot Russian chicks working at this fucking candy store, dude. But I was too young. Like I didn't understand. Like my dad wasn't around and shit. Like I didn't fucking know how to approach women. Like I had
but your body told you. Your body told me like this is.
Yes.
You just knew.
I mean, I was 16, 17. It's like I knew. Okay. I'm just saying like I never spoke to any of them like on any serious level, but like god damn they were so hot. And they just worked the register. We did all the actual work at the store. Like literally they just like fucking
like
rung
the grunt work.
Oh yeah, like we're fucking like scrubbing fucking giant pans in the back, like these giant bowls, because they make candy. Like they didn't just like distribute candy. Like these motherfuckers are back there like concocting fudge and fucking pouring chocolate on top of fucking shit. So like everything in the store, with the exception of like some very specific items, was made in the store. So
did you ever steal candy from the store?
Oh well, that's where we're going next.
Because you looked like someone that would.
It was the heaviest I ever was my entire. Oh, sorry, I recently trumped this like a couple years ago, but it was almost the heaviest I was my entire life. I got up to 187 pounds. Normally I walk.
Whoa!
Yeah, Jesus. Normally I walk around like 170-ish, 75 if I'm eating like a fat fuck, 80 if I'm like really going at it like right after a fight or something.
How old were you?
17.
Okay.
So I had never had fudge the way it was intended before. So what would happen is my mom would go somewhere and she would buy fudge and then she would put it in our refrigerator. So I had never gotten it like from a store before.
Like fresh?
You're not supposed to put it in a refrigerator. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. You just leave it out. When you put it in the refrigerator, it dries out and it tastes like shit.
Yep.
So I always thought fudge tasted like garbage. So when I started working at the store and they make their own fudge, I'm like, oh yeah, like they offered me some. I'm like, I'm not really a big fan, whatever. They're like, no, trust me, like we make it fresh here, whatever.
Our
I'm like,
fudge
okay.
is a game changer.
I'm like, I'll try some, whatever. It was such a game changer because not only was it fresh, it wasn't fucking shitty refrigerated old fudge. So I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I would probably eat like a pound of fudge every day that I worked there. On top of, they had chocolate covered Oreos that I would steal.
Ooh,
those were delicious. Chocolate covered Swedish fish. Those were a big one.
I never even heard of that.
Yeah, no, well, this is what I'm saying. They made all these things inside the store. And it was some type of like s'more thing that they made too, which was delicious. So I would eat my fill. They didn't care. It was like a known thing that you could pretty much eat your fill as long as like they're not watching. Like you could eat pretty much whatever you want. Basically, that's what the employees told me. They're like, listen, dude, like you can pretty much do whatever it is. And you would get bolder and bolder as time went on. Like at first it would just take like a little bit and then I would eat my fill every single day. And then on top of that, I would take like drinks and things like Coke, Sprite, whatever it was. Like during the day, I would just take all the drinks out of the fridge, whatever. In my eyes, I was like, listen, I'm getting paid so little to do this job that I need to get the most out of this. Like I need as much nutrition as I possibly can to make up for the lack of fucking money I was making. Because I worked there for like 6 months. The guy like promised, like, yeah, we're going to start you at this price. We'll give you a raise at some point, soon. You just got to start here. And like nobody ever
got to work your way up
or anything.
Up the chain.
So yeah, no, that never happened. It was funny, man. And then there was I would have to do, like I told you, we did all like the hard stuff, but there would be a lot of times throughout the day where all the hard stuff was done and all that you could really do was sell the candy. So like we were done making candy and doing all that shit. So really for us in the back, as long as everything was clean, there's really nothing to do. So I would fucking sit down and I'd get on my phone or something or like just fucking chill. So there's 2 guys that worked at the store. One of them was like the nicest guy ever, and he didn't give a fuck about a single thing. And then there was another dude who was like a real hard ass. So if he came in the store and you weren't actively doing something, he would scream at you. So this guy was like, fuck you, you're fucking not doing whatever. He's like, get up and do something. So literally what that turned into was me scrubbing cabinets with a cloth with nothing. It's not even cleaner. I'm just like.
So this guy would verbally abuse you?
Yeah, so what I learned from the other employees is like, listen, like you just gotta like pretend to do something because there's literally nothing to do. Like the place is spotless. You've already cleaned it, everything. So I'm just like rubbing cabinets like this, you know, for no reason. He also screamed at me for the way that I mopped because in jiu-jitsu, when you mop, like you just kind of like disinfect. Like the point is you're just supposed to put the disinfectant on the mat and then it cleans it and you're done.
Wax
But,
on,
like,
wax off.
He wanted me to fucking scrub this shit. So I'm like mopping one day. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, you fucking idiot?" Like
He would talk to you that way?
Yes. He's like, did nobody teach you how to mop, you fucking retard? And I'm like, no. I mean, it's Jersey, dude. What do you expect? So he's like, nobody taught you how to mop, you fucking retard. And I'm like,
That's kind of
like,
like
I am like, I don't understand. Like, what am I doing wrong? And he's like, you gotta fucking, and he scrubs with it. And I'm like, oh, okay, you know.
They would
He thought
find
I was,
Garry
like,
in the
biggest
corner,
dummy.
crying.
Yeah, exactly.
There he is again, crying.
And masturbating to the Russian chicks that were in the fucking front.
That's what I'm gonna do later.
We got a couple more questions. So
Wait, hold on. Before you do that, Frank, what's the heaviest you've been?
like 217.
You're a tall guy, big guy. Yeah. What do you weigh now?
Probably like 208.
Okay, so
That's not too bad.
You don't fluctuate that much, huh?
Not really. No. I don't like do any bulks or anything. Plus, I've been doing the fasting thing, which kind of restricts my calories. So, but at one point, I'm gonna fucking juice up and get just fucking huge. Just got to take care of some stuff first. If you guys had to fight one Hall of Fame fighter, who would it be?
Ooh, Willie Pep.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. I love that.
Willie
answer.
Pep.
He's
100%.
great.
Oh, Willie Pep.
Oh, Willie, because he's being able to hit him is the real thing. Because like he was just his defensive prowess was insane. There's a legend that he won a round without throwing a single punch because he made the guy look so bad by making him miss. And he was around my size, and that's 100% the guy that I want.
Willie Pep made a miss, and the guy fell down
pretty
a couple of times.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I will say this about Willie Pep to anybody listening that's like actually like a MMA guy. Boxers probably already know, but like for guys that are interested in mixed martial arts or already doing mixed martial arts, and you think you know what you're doing with your footwork, okay? I want you to watch a little bit of. I want you to watch some full fights of Willie Pep, and then fucking I want you to watch yourself move.
Yeah.
And then I want you to fucking sit with a loaded gun in your mouth because
I was gonna say,
you're literally
don't quit the sport because once you see it.
It is a different fucking animal, man. That guy knew how to fucking use footwork to set up. And it's not like he's just dancing around for no reason. Like, first of all, most people in my sport, in mixed martial arts, they barely even know how to do that. Like, they barely move. Right. They just stand in front of each other and fucking throw punches. Yep. All right, but the guys that do move, it's pretty random. Okay, most of them, they just kind of like move about the ring. I'm not going to say any examples. I don't want to fucking embarrass anybody.
Don't throw anybody under the bus, Garry.
There's some fucking guys, they move around, but it's like movement for the sake of movement. And like, don't get me wrong, that's better than nothing because at least you're a moving target. But there's no purpose behind it. But Willie Pep, man, when that guy moves, he's fucking leading you on to shit. You know what I mean? It's not a mistake.
He's setting traps.
It's a fucking game for him. You know, a couple steps to the left, you follow, he fucking hits you with a right, and it's like, man, it's crazy. He's really impressive, especially for that time period.
Oh yeah, dude. He's great because you could see he used his hands too. The gloves back then, there was no like attached thumb. He used to grab elbows, slide you over. He would use arm drags. He would step around.
Yeah,
and just the stuff that he did was like you said, back then nobody did any of that shit. And to this day, you watch it and you're like, it's mesmerizing.
Guys, talking about footwork, did you see Frankie Edgar's fight?
I was going to say, my two favorite guys who have good footwork in MMA are Frankie Edgar and Dominic Cruz. Those guys actually have really good footwork.
Watching Frankie Edgar fights gives me anxiety. Like this Saturday, I was clenching my hands and I had like moist hands.
Mm-hmm. My asshole was clenched more than anything else. But...
And moist, like my hands. Were they clammy? Did you have a clammy bunghole?
Yes.
Dude.
Yeah, no, for sure, man.
Because I felt that at any point, that fucking dude, what's his name? The Pedro Munoz guy could just KO him at any point.
Yeah.
The match.
Frankie has a history of getting like like seriously hurt in fights and coming back.
Yeah,
I don't
really
remember.
rough.
I didn't see the whole fight. Like I was watching little bits and pieces because we were at an axe throwing place, but it seemed like that didn't happen during the fight. I would say that I was a little worried because I actually didn't get to see most of the first and second round, and I think that's where Frankie did his best work. So I saw the third round, and like I was like, okay, I think Frankie won that round. But then I saw the last two rounds, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
Like I think this guy's kind of coming back on him, and I didn't know the first two like what happened the first two rounds. So I was worried that they were going to give the other guy a decision, but from what I heard, he beat him up the first two rounds. So because he had a lot of damage, the other guy too, and most of Frankie's fights, Frankie is the one with most of the damage.
Yeah.
So I was impressed with that. So yeah, man, I agree with you.
Well, he was throwing beautiful combinations. Chris, did you see the fight, Chris?
I didn't. I was working Saturday night. That's when I was calling the fights for Top Rank.
He had really good hands. Really good hands.
He's
the only thing
tremendous.
about,
He's one of my favorite fighters.
The only thing about the style that Frankie has is he has to just like in every fight he has to be perfect. He has to outwork the hell out of the other guy and not get caught in 5 rounds, which is pretty hard. Because the other guy would just eat punches to throw one, eat like combinations to get one in.
Well, keep in mind too, Frankie for most of his career has been fighting basically up 2 weight classes.
Yep.
Majority of his career, he's fighting at 155. Frankie walks around at 156. So, I mean, the guys that fight at 155 now, Khabib, weighs over 200 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's an insane amount of weight he was giving up to people. So all of his fights back then, the only style that would have worked, he wasn't going to fucking knock any of those guys out. The only style that would work is him fucking evading and then hitting them more than he was hitting, or hitting them more than they were hitting him, So now this is the first fight I think that he fought at. Was that with 35? I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the first fight we saw at 35. So maybe that's why we didn't see, him get like hurt or anything like that, because he's finally fighting in a weight class where there's guys that are actually like kind of the appropriate size.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, arguably he's a 25 pounder.
Yeah.
As far as MMA is concerned. In boxing, he wouldn't be. Like in boxing, I doubt anybody would cut that amount of weight. But in MMA, like that's fairly normal. Somebody that walks
and
like
his
50, 155, cutting to 25.
Yeah,
and
he's
his
55, 56. He wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't be below 140 as a boxer.
Yeah.
And his speed was really, really crisp. Like he had very good speed. Like usually as you go down in weight classes, these other guys catch up to you with their speed, but it was noticeable.
Sure. Yeah, it looks really good. I mean,
kudos to Frankie.
He's definitely like I don't know how old Frankie is now, but
38.
Yeah, he's probably getting towards the tail end of his career here. So it's a shame that he waited this long, in my opinion, to jump down to that weight class. But it's just goes to show you we're still seeing great things from him. So I mean, if he's feeling healthy, he could fight for a while. I think at that weight class.
Gary, if you had to fight one Hall of Fame fighter, who would it be? Chris already said Willie Pep, so he looks foolish fighting him. And now it's your turn, Gary.
So if I had my choice of fighter that, like in a perfect world where like none of my loyalties mattered, I would fight Georges St. Pierre because I just look at him as the greatest fighter of all time. Now, obviously, I would never do that because we're training partners, and it just doesn't make sense.
After all, Georges St. Pierre has given you. You would turn your back on him.
Exactly. I would
like
never.
An evil villain.
But in a perfect world, like to me, he's the guy to beat. Like like beating him is a testament to like. I mean, honestly, even beating him though, like that's the crazy part. It's like beating him once, like because there's been people that have beaten him. It's like that's not enough.
Yeah.
Like it's not like that cements you as like the greatest. Like he'll still. That's the craziest part about him. Like I could walk in, beat him, and people would still look at him as like the greatest of all time. So, but I still. From a standpoint of what I view as like the best mixed martial arts skill, he has it in my opinion, like all around understanding of the sport. So like me beating him and he'd be above my weight class a little bit, but it's no big deal. I feel like that would be the greatest testament of
not because you have insider info on this, Gary. So I'm just going to ask you. Yeah. Do you think that he would fight Khabib? He would come back and fight him?
A year ago, I think maybe. 2 years ago, definitely. Right now, I think as time moves forward, I think it becomes less and less likely.
Well, I'll tell you
That's
what.
all I'm saying.
I'll tell you what. Khabib came out and said that he had 2 fights left.
Yeah.
One is the Gaethje, and then he said his retirement fight is going to be against GSP. And when they asked Dana White, Dana said, I would do anything for Khabib. So yeah, I would make that fight.
Sure.
So
It only took fucking Dana, I don't know, fucking years to finally be in that position with Khabib. Like he used to just fucking put that motherfucker through the ringer. Now finally he's like, yeah, I would do anything for Khabib. Oh,
Yep.
oh, thanks. Great. It's not like he just won every fucking fight you ever put him in.
well,
like,
the
he
thing is
deserved
that
that
Khabib
from the beginning.
Khabib now has star
From
power
Kimera
as well as
as well.
just you got to have like something else other than winning for you to have command like Dana's respect. And Khabib has star power now. Like he brings a lot of attention to the sport. Like he brings the country of
did it by
Russia. And
winning.
he brings a lot
He
of
did it by
fans.
just winning.
Yeah,
That's
he mostly did it by winning. There's a little bit of like some funny.
Have
Dude,
when
he
you
talks a
have-
lot of trash that's like brought him a lot of attention too.
He was kind of any trash that he talked though was he was kind of forced to talk.
Bro,
Like
How
he didn't
epic
wanna
how
talk
epic was
trash.
that line where he told Connor to send location?
That was.
But the
Bro,
thing is
come
like
on,
is
dude.
it
trash.
that,
He meant
the thing
that.
is that the thing is that trash talk is not. I don't even really look at it as trash talk. I really look at it as the genuine musings of Khabib. Like
Right.
that's genuinely what is on his mind at that time. It's not like him just like putting on a show.
No,
That's
I
like
agree with you.
Yeah. So it's different. That's why I mean, like, I think they kind of forced him to talk trash. Like, he didn't really have a choice. Like, you put him in a fucking place where a bunch of other people are talking that much shit. It's like, what
And
is he gonna do?
he's also got like his background is something like the things that he's done in his past can put him in like legendary status, like him wrestling a bear when he was young. Like he grew up wrestling bears and stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen that video, Gary?
Yeah. Oh, of course. I did a spoof video for one of my DVDs where I talked about wrestling bears. I thought it was pretty funny.
Is that like a furry? Like where you dress up and you guys bang?
Exactly. That's exactly what I did. So I did this DVD and it was like a mixture of wrestling techniques and like jiu-jitsu submissions. And in the promotion of the DVD, that I always do a little podcast with BJJ Fanatics, and this guy Bernardo Faria, who's like a jiu-jitsu world champion, he's like a really great guy, but he's like one of those people that's just kind of like so nice that like they would never suspect you to like fuck with them. So like when you tell him a story, he just assumes inherently that it's going to be true. Like there's no fiber of his being that ever thinks that you might just be like playing a game. You know what I mean? So I'm on this podcast and, you know, Bernardo's asking me about like how I got my wrestling background and everything like that. And I told him, I was like, well, you know, I've been watching the Russians and the Russians seem to be really good at wrestling. So I was thinking to myself, like, well, why don't I do what the Russians do? And I see that, you know, guys like Khabib like are wrestling bears, you know, like they're wrestling actual bears. So like that must be like one of their secrets. It seems like a lot of them do that. So I told him, I was like, well, I tried to look around New Jersey and it didn't seem like there was any bears to wrestle. But then I saw
Dude, talking about Brazilians, Gary, what about having Renato and well, I think we should have him on first alone and just like kind of gauge his style. But I think that Renato and do you know this guy, Chris? Renato Larange?
No.
I'll send
It's
you.
like, it's like Vin the Chin, how he has like the Long Island vibe, but for Brazilians. So
Okay.
like in our sport, Brazilian characterisms are like kind of like they have like these mannerisms and these words that they say and their accent and like the things that they do that are like it's very specific, and like we all laugh about them and like make little jokes, but like Renato like has a whole like spiel about him where he like is that character.
He epitomizes what it is to be.
Yeah, but he always like he always talks about banging chicks.
Yeah, similar to Vinny.
So I think it would be definitely an interesting contrast.
Yeah, I think having him on alone is probably best first, because you want to get a view of who he is, and he has like his own little interesting story. What we should do for him is put together like a list again of like serious questions about like his background and stuff, and I think he would do really well riffing off of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do some fan questions.
Yeah, he would be happy to be on. He's
your buddy, right?
Yeah, we're good friends.
One last question. 1 year of no masturbation or 2 years of no coffee?
Oh.
No coffee. I'm good. No coffee.
Fuck, man.
I can't live without coffee.
I could do cocaine, right? Cocaine's cool?
Yeah.
So, okay. So when we say no coffee, so he said he could do cocaine. Do we really mean no caffeine? Because if it's just coffee, I could probably live without it.
No, I'm sure it means no caffeine, man.
Yeah, okay. Because that would be the easy cheat.
I could do that too. I would still do
easily.
that. I would do no caffeine.
Jesus.
Man, caffeine is such a fucking huge part of
Chris,
my
you
life.
fucking lay pipe, bro. You don't need to whack off.
Dude.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure I'm going to give up the beating off, man.
Needs are high.
This is contrary to every fiber of my being usually. But like I need the caffeine, man. If I don't have that, like I do so much in my fucking day, dude. Like today I went and I fucking did MMA, then I did jiu-jitsu, then I taught a private, then I taught my Zoom, then I came here and did this podcast. Like I would be asleep, man. I don't know how I would be able
What's
to
the penalty though? What's the penalty if you cheat? That's the thing. Like what are the stakes?
I mean,
what if you go against it?
I don't know.
These fan questions need to be a little more.
These are hypotheticals.
Yeah.
So
we add in the details ourselves.
Garry has a special situation though. Remember that he has like all these students on call that he just speed dials any one of them, and
he just makes
they come to suck him off.
It's a professional courtesy.
Garry's sex cult. Let's not forget about his sex cult.
I remember Frankie like sends me a link to like a promo for the podcast. He's like, "Hey, Lee, you gotta share this one." And it's like him talking about me having my gym as a sex cult, and I'm like, "Yeah, hate to tell you, Frank, I'm definitely not sharing this one on my page ever." It's one thing that you said it on the podcast. I don't care, but like I'm definitely not promoting it on my story. Like this is not fucking happening.
I'm like, let's put some marketing dollars behind this one.
Frankie's making sure that we never get any jobs other than this. Like he's trying to lock us down. He's like, we can't do anything else.
My master plan. I'm fucking laying the groundwork like China here in the U.S.
Stuck here for life.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever done a paid promotion for us yet. I still have to do that.
Fucking asshole.
We tried to do it the one day, and there was fucking curses, and it told us that we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You have to beep it all out.
There's been like 20 more after that.
I know, but I didn't think about it after that because you didn't bother me. You have to bother me more.
Well, we all know how that ended.
I had a full mental breakdown. Listen, I was dealing with a lot back
then. With the cookie story. Okay? But I see you're in a good place now, and you have a new girl that probably balances you out and helps you out. By the way, I was very impressed with your guitar playing, Garry.
Which time?
Well, the only post not the first time. That was horrible.
Two. Yeah, the first one.
The guitar. The one where you're in a couch.
Yeah.
Sitting on a couch.
The acoustic that I played, was I think I played that pretty well. The electric was bad. That I was so nervous doing that. I couldn't
believe you even posted that. It was horrible.
Dude, trust me. I mean, she had
How long
posted
have you been playing
already, so
how long have you been playing guitar for?
Well, that's hard to say because really I probably dedicated maybe 6 months to a year of like playing certain songs semi-seriously. And then after that, I like kind of never really played anything ever again and never really practiced. Basically, some chick asked me to learn how to play a song for her, and then she cheated on me. And then I kind of stopped trying to learn music for people, and I only played comedy songs that I thought were really funny. And they were all just really easy chord changes, and there was no substance to it. So I never really got better at playing the guitar. Right now, I'm learning how to play Fire and Rain by James Taylor, which is exceptionally difficult. It's probably, I can't believe I even asked. I'm actually kicking myself in the ass for asking my stepdad to teach me this song because it's so hard.
How great is it that every guy learns how to do things because of chicks?
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like everything we do.
Well, man, that's part of my
that's how the world was built.
That's part of like my little bit of a scare for like having a girlfriend. Like that's one of my genuine fears of having a girlfriend. It's like, hey man, like me doing things in life, a lot of the motivation is to be able to bang chicks. And it's like, if that's no longer there, like now it's like gotta just be like stuff that I'm just doing for me, I guess, you know? And it's like, it's not as motivating as knowing that there's going to be, I guess, a tunnel at the end of the light instead of a light at the end of the tunnel, if you will. That's a vagina analogy in case anybody didn't get it.
Are you gonna rebrand your shirts to
Fuck no.
Cash Girlfriend Championships?
Fuck no, dude. I made that very clear. I'm posting more ass pictures and videos than I ever have been just to make sure motherfuckers don't get any ideas about me getting fucking domesticated.
Don't get soft on us, Gary. You gotta keep that killer instinct.
Gary,
right.
You're like a little zebra. You can never be tamed. Fun fact for you guys. Zebras can never be tamed.
Fun fact for you guys, zebras have some of the largest fucking cocks of the animal family.
Well, they're a horse family, right?
They're fucking enormous. Dude, whatever a horse cock is, it's like twice the size. It's enormous.
And they just
Everybody
drag
on
it.
our podcast, look up zebra penis right now.
And
it's one of the biggest fucking members you ever fucking seen.
They just drag it along the ground for like miles and miles.
It literally looks like an actual fifth leg for them. Like you look at it and you're like, oh, that's one of their legs. You're like, no, that's a penis.
And I guess we'll end on that.
Yes. Perfect. So now all you guys can go check on zebra penises.
Zebrapenis.com. Check it out.
Because unfortunately, that's what I'm going to do right now, too. I'm like, oh, shit. I've never seen that before.
Chris, check out The Boys. You're going to like that show.
Yeah, dude, I thought you were talking about some movie, so I'm trying to find this movie.
No, dude, it's like superheroes gone bad.
Okay.
Or like douchebags.
They're like dicks
about it. Yeah, they're like assholes.
That's great. Like, what was that movie with Will Smith when he was
Hancock.
drunk? Yeah, Hancock.
Yep.
That was good.
That was a great movie. I love that.
Really good.
I love anti-hero, man.
Dude, so you're gonna love The Boys.
That's why fucking Logan is my favorite fucking X-Men, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Like Wolverine is
he's a badass. He's the anti-hero.
He's not like just like a fucking, oh, I love fucking saving people. It's like, all right, I'm gonna save people because I fucking kind of have to, but like
I don't want to.
He might be the reason I like cigars and beer so much.
Like I'd rather smoke a cigar and bang a chick, but like I guess I'll fucking save your life, you know? Like
So Gary, check it out. You check it out too. It's on Amazon. Amazon Videos. The Boys.
The Boys.
Yeah, I'm watching it tonight.
It's awesome.
And then I gotta watch. Apparently, with this headband, I look like one of the Goonies, or like one of one of the.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do.
Really do.
Oh, you know
so I still haven't watched it yet.
It's Thanos.
Is that who it is?
Yeah, it's him.
All those guys grew up to be like, most of them grew up to be real actors.
He's also in Deadpool. He's Cable.
Oh yeah. He was
got really jacked for that role.
Old Country. He was in
No Country for Old Men. Yes.
He's awesome. He's a
great actor.
Really good. I didn't realize he was Thanos. I gotta pick up my Marvels. But all right, I gotta piss.
Josh Brolin.
Brolin. Bad dude.
All right, guys.
Love you guys.
Move
Cub Scouts.
for no man, no man, no man, no man, no.
We'll call it a draw.
No man.
Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound. Just a flesh wound.